Hi, this is the Every Yard podcast. I'm Ryan King. I'm here with Cody Gibbs. This
Hello.
is the inaugural podcast for Every Yard, and like I said, I'm here with Mr. Michael Cody Gibbs.
Hello, everybody.
Cody, did you have any takeaways from day one of the combine that happened just a few days ago?
Day one of the combine. Uh, I had a few things I really, really had a lot of interest in. Leonard Fournette was probably my biggest interest from that day. To be that big and to run that fast. He put on a few pounds before the combine. What did you think of him putting on a couple of pounds? If
Uh,
he's able to run fast, I mean,
I mean, what the report was is that it was just water weight.
yeah, that's
Um,
yeah.
but
I don't know if I believe that.
the fact that he ran a 4.5 at 240, it
It's pretty
actually
impressive.
I'm more impressed than I would have been if he had run a 4.45 at 225.
Yeah, exactly. To be that big, physical, and he lays a punch, but he is very good in open space. He can move. So he's one of the best running back prospects I've seen to come
He's
out into the
definitely
NFL.
a very
And
violent, powerful runner, and he's a guy that if I saw him coming, I would dive out of the way
oh
instantly.
yeah, oh yeah. And we saw what he did. What was that game? Who were they playing against?
Doesn't I don't remember.
He
I just
trucked. He
remember that
trucked.
dead guy.
He trucked somebody so bad. Oh my gosh,
He's got
that was brutal.
the scariest stiff arm in the world.
Oh, yeah, he does everything so well as a running back.
The
It's
only
ridiculous.
downfall on him is I wouldn't say he's the best receiving back. He was never asked to do
Yeah,
much in that
yeah,
part of the game.
not not a great receiving back, but you know, I mean, can't get everything in one.
No.
His moves, his jumping wasn't very good. He's ranked very at the bottom of the broad and vertical at the combine,
Right.
but you know, happens. He wasn't the worst in either of them, I don't think. But I think I read that any first round running back since like 2003, he's had the lowest
Yeah,
vertical.
probably. It
Yeah,
wasn't very impressive, but
wasn't
he's not a
impressive.
guy that usually hurdles.
Yeah,
Of course, that's
yeah,
obviously supposed to measure the explosiveness of the player, but I think his speed did enough of that.
yeah,
Speaking of full, complete running backs, though, how about Dalvin Cook?
yeah. I'm a big Dalvin Cook fan.
I don't think
Um,
he's the best pure running back, but I
yeah,
think he's the best at making the most out of everything.
yeah. He's really good at a lot of things. He can catch the ball really well. He's a good he's good out of the backfield, and he's a good running back. I'm not. A lot of people see him as a guy who's not going to be a great, is pure back. He's going to have to get a lot of receptions to be really consistent. And if I think he could definitely get the ball as a running back 20 times a game and be good. We just
Absolutely.
got to see if his body holds up. But I think he could be very good in the next level. He showed me a lot 2 years ago and showed me even more this year. Very impressive back. And he ran a little bit slow over time, but I'm completely it's fine. What was it, a 4.52 or something?
It was a 4.5, um, 40.
Yeah. Which isn't the worst thing in the world. It's not.
No, it's about the same as. I think there is a difference between speed and game speed, and
Yeah,
that guy is
definitely.
a guy with tons of game speed.
Tons of game speed. Exactly.
Um, Guy that is also projected in the first round. We've got Christian
On some
McCaffrey.
yeah, on some draft boards.
He's definitely a first round talent.
He definitely is. I like Christian McCaffrey a whole lot.
Uh,
He's a very good ball player. He's dominant at Stanford. He was
he
really good. He wasn't playing bad teams either. He's a good player.
no, he just had way more touches than anybody in the NCAA the last few years.
And his offensive line was pretty good. He had a good offensive line to run behind.
But at the same time, I don't think I've seen a guy with jukes
No,
like his.
no. Oh yeah,
In the open field,
he's ridiculous.
you cannot catch him.
He's absolutely ridiculous.
He actually ran the fastest out of the big three with the 4.48
Mm-hmm.
speed.
Honestly, it's right about where I guess he'd run. I was saying about 4.45, 4.46, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think the
But-
most exciting thing about him, though, is the fact that you could line him at receiver. He's a lot like Devontae Freeman in the sense
Mhm.
that
Yep.
he does
he's-
everything and he can run routes as well as a receiver.
And that Devontae Freeman comparison is, I like that one just because they are both so twitchy as backs.
Right, and
They-
versatile.
You don't see the move coming. When they move, it's so quick. It's ridiculous.
You just leave guys in the dust.
Leave guys in the it's ridiculous. And the 10 bench reps thing. I think it's a little overrated. A lot of people talking about it. Obviously you want to have your running back with a little bit more strength, of course, but I'm not worried about that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Speaking about those 10 reps, Samaje Perine,
Mm-hmm.
30 reps, which is by far the most out of the running backs.
Yep.
He matched that with a 4.65 40 time, which is a
Yeah.
little slow,
A little slow.
but it's still a violent runner. It's a lot like a LeGarrette Blount, Eddie Lacy kind of
Yeah,
strength performance.
which is kind of a little interesting because watching him 2 years ago in college, I would not have really thought I'd even mention him in the same sense as somebody as like Eddie Lacy. Just they were kind of different runners in college, but I think the way Perine runs. I think he's gonna have to change his game a little bit in the NFL to be a successful runner. With that weight,
Yeah.
with that speed, he's gonna definitely have to change. But I really liked him in college. That's the thing. I thought he was a really good running back in
He's
college.
got game speed.
Yeah, he's definitely has game speed.
He
So
broke
that's
Melvin Gordon's single game rushing record
Mhm.
a week after.
a week after, and he broke the all-time Oklahoma record
I wouldn't doubt
for
it.
yards in a season. I think.
Probably.
No, in a career.
Probably.
I watched that game. He's a good back. I really like him. I like Mixon too. Joe, we'll talk about him later. I like him too, but right now I'm more of a fan of Perine, to be honest. He's never let me down. I've always been impressed with him. Always, and Oklahoma's always played some pretty good teams.
Yeah.
One guy I want to talk about real quick is Wayne Gallman. 2 years ago, I really thought this guy was going to be maybe not a surefire first round pick, but no matter what, he would not drop out of the second round. He didn't really escalate to that point where I want him to be this season in college. I was really expecting more out of him, even on a championship Clemson. Team of Clemson. I really just didn't see him as much as I would have wanted out of him. So I'm guessing third, fourth round, probably.
Probably, yeah. Fourth, fifth, I would say.
Yeah, third if he's lucky. Probably fourth. I really liked him 2 years ago. He wasn't bad. I was a little disappointed. And then he didn't have a great combine either.
No. Ran a pretty slow 40 time for, what people expected for him.
Mm-hmm. I was pretty. He's watching him. He just didn't look very fluid in some of the drills. Wasn't awful, but not as fluid as some of them. McCaffrey looked very fluid. He just didn't look quite the same. But enough of that. Any other running back?
Yeah, I got one. Mr. James Conner from Pitt.
Yeah, it's a good story.
It's
I like
probably
that guy.
my favorite story of college football. The young man who came back from Hodgkin's lymphoma, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Just like Eric Berry.
And beat it, only to reclaim his spot as one of the top running backs in the country in college football.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he ran a slower 40 time, but the way the guy plays is what defines him.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't expecting him to run any higher than a 4.55. Maybe a little slower than I thought, but I wasn't expecting higher than a 4.55.
No.
So It's not the worst thing in the world.
No.
He's a good, tough back. Tough.
He's
He's
tough on
very tough.
multiple levels.
Yeah, on multiple levels. He'll do a lot for you. He's a good back, and a team should definitely take a chance on him in the middle rounds.
Right. Other day one things, obviously the offensive line class.
Yeah, it's a. I mean, I'm not really personally. I'm not a big fan of this O-line class.
No, it's not as good as the past few years.
For sure. It's. I mean, that year with Zach Martin was pretty good.
Absolutely.
2 years ago, when you had Eric Flowers go, that wasn't too good. You had Eric Flowers and what's his name on the Saints going the same.
Andrews Pete.
Yeah, that wasn't a great. But I think that may still be better in this draft. I'm not. Forrest Lamp is going to be a solid NFL starter in this league. I promise that.
He's probably going to move inside the guard. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. He'll play guard, but he'll be a very good guard.
He's a very stout guy.
Oh, very. He moves really well too.
Yeah.
Some of the other guys. I'm not a big fan of it, so I don't really have much to say. It's just not a very impressive class to me.
He did do 34 bench reps, which is pretty impressive.
He was definitely the best lineman out there in my opinion. Cam Robinson is a good back. He had felt like
lineman.
Yeah, my fault. He's a good lineman. He's not quite as good as I thought he'd be. Also, like coming in the season, I thought he'd be a top 10 player, and he didn't really produce it like that. A little unorthodox the way he plays, but he could still turn into something.
I think he could be a great right tackle.
Yeah, definitely. He could definitely go first round. He probably will go first round.
With this,
I've heard
class,
25.
I would not doubt it.
Yeah. You know how important offensive linemen are.
Yep. Dallas has proven that.
Oh yeah. So
all right,
day two.
Wait. To day two.
One last thing about day one though, which not really day one, but it's just running backs in general. Joe Mixon. What do you think about that situation?
I mean, I think he's obviously a very talented player. It's just he unfortunately is in a situation where he's gotten into the wrong crowd, done some bad things.
Yep.
And it's obviously going to affect him on draft day because he's obviously a first-round talent. But whether he gets taken in the first round is going to come down to what teams make of his character concerns.
Yeah. Everybody here talk about him really likes the guy. It's just, I almost feel bad for him. He can't make mistakes like that. That's bad. But, he learned his lesson, it sounds like. And I hope a team takes a chance on him. I really do.
Yep. All right, let's move into day two.
Yep.
The wide receiver, tight end, quarterbacks.
And we obviously have to start with, the quarterbacks, I don't want to talk about them. But we got to talk about John Ross, let's be honest.
John Ross, the man who could have had his own island, but instead decided to wear Nike cleats over Adidas.
It's a shame.
What would you do with your own island?
I wouldn't know what to do, honestly. Am I allowed to bring family members?
Yeah, probably. It's your island.
All right. Well, being secluded from the rest of the world, obviously.
Yeah, well, I would probably...
I'm charging people to come stay there, but...
Right.
Let's go ahead and talk about the Mr. 422. That's ridiculous. I was watching it live. I watched the whole combine live, but when I was watching this, I was ready for him to come up because I was really excited about him.
I did not expect a 4.22.
No. I knew he's faster. They were saying 4.35 is probably the over/under. I was like, no, I say 4.3 because he moves.
Yeah,
I was not expecting a 4.22.
No, I don't even know if he was expecting a 4.22.
Yeah, that was. And then he came over and he was like, I could have done. I pulled my. He got a cramp. I could have done faster though.
Yeah.
I was like, do you know the time you actually got? Or... Oh gosh.
Another pretty fast receiver in that group. not to take anything away from John Ross, who is just a great all-around receiver.
Yeah, a great all-around receiver.
The only knock on him really could be his size, being only 5'10".
Yeah, he runs.
200.
Oh, for sure. But there's a lot of players in the NFL you can find like that. T.Y. Hilton, probably in my opinion, the best route runner in the entire NFL. I don't think there's Emmanuel Sanders maybe, but T.Y. Hilton. I don't think anybody runs better routes than him.
Right. Maybe Antonio Brown and.
Oh, Antonio Brown's the best at everything.
Well, we won't.
He'd probably be a better quarterback than Brock Osweiler, but let's just go ahead and.
All right. Another fast guy though, as I was saying, D.D. Westbrook. He ran his pro day today. He ran a 4.38 and a 4.34.
Ooh.
I compare him mostly to Deshaun Jackson. He's a great, amazing deep threat. I think he'd be like the perfect fit right now for the Redskins, considering they just lost Deshaun Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about D.D. Westbrook?
I really like D.D. Westbrook. I remember when he was really hot during the season. About middle of the season, a little past middle, he was just unbelievable. And a lot of analysts just didn't see him translating that well into a good pro receiver still, which really had me a little befuddled. I mean, he's a good player. Great hands, obviously. He has some really good hands, but he can take the top off of a team.
Absolutely.
It's not even streaks. He runs posts from the slot, and when he cuts right down the middle. The guys can't keep up with them.
No, not with that speed.
And Baker Mayfield, obviously, the huge arm, obviously able to get to him.
Baker Mayfield's my number one prospect for next season.
A lot of people have the Sam what his name? Sam from USC.
USC, yep. I like Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I've seen more out of Baker Mayfield to this point, so I gotta take him.
I got you.
Talk about USC. How about Juju Smith-Schuster?
He's a player that I like. I think he's a good receiver. I think he's going to be solid. He could surprise me. He catches everything. He catches everything. Nothing really pokes out to me that much about his game, though. Not saying he's a bad player whatsoever. Just saying he does everything well. Nothing really pokes out to me. He's a pretty big bill receiver. How tall is he about?
Hold on. I'll get back to you on that.
I think like
at least 6
either way, yeah. I mean, he's a good-sized receiver. He can catch some deep balls.
6'1".
He can catch some deep balls. He's good. He does everything well. He doesn't do, in my opinion, at least right now, doesn't do anything really good. But he does everything really good, of course.
He catches
does everything great. He doesn't do anything great.
He can't separate, but he will catch almost everything.
And he can occasionally separate, but when you have when in the NFL, when he's gonna meet some pretty a little bigger corners that are really physical, he has to get some speed on him, because if he doesn't, he's not gonna really go anywhere.
Right.
But he's a good receiver. I'm not saying anything bad about him, but should be good. Now, is a player who's not really rated high, but he really put on a show at the Combine. That's Georgia State wide receiver Robert Davis. I thought he was the best receiver at the Combine. No, yeah. I mean, I'm saying that just the most, not like that, but I mean the best, coming out.
He put on the best performance for the wide receiver core, at least.
Oh, yeah. He definitely improved his stock the most, without a doubt. He led in bench reps. He was top 3 in vertical and broad, I think. Ran a
4.44.
That's and he's a good. You mind checking his size for me too? Because I remember he's good size.
He's a good 6'3".
Yes.
I compare him a lot to Martavis Bryant with the type of speed that he's got.
That's a good comparison too.
Best thing about him is he won't have the kind of off the field issues, at least at the moment, that Martavis
Mhm.
Bryant has. So
Yeah,
he might
he's
actually
yeah,
play games for you.
yeah. And one thing about him is not like Juju Smith-Schuster, Juju Smith-Schuster, where where he catches everything. He does catch most of it, but on some of the harder ones, he'll find a way to come down with it, like Martavis Bryant. And we saw that juggling catch he had in that playoff game. Remember, one of the greatest catches I've ever seen.
Yep.
He does stuff like that. He don't catch everything, but he'll make some hard catches. A lot of people really liking him as a second, third round prospect. Georgia State wide receiver coming out, small college like that. It's pretty impressive. But let's move on.
Another pretty tall guy, a guy I like a lot, Mike Williams.
Mike Williams. He's a good receiver. I like him.
I think he's going to be an excellent red zone kind of guy.
I know how much you like Deshaun Watson. I'm not putting down Deshaun Watson at all. I do feel like he did bail Deshaun Watson out a few times.
Yeah, probably. That's the sign of a great receiver.
Yeah, that is, he bailed him out quite a bit, but not putting down Watson or anything.
He's a
Mike
6'4"
Williams,
guy
yeah,
who has
6'4".
just probably the greatest. Well, I say that. He's very good reach. He can catch things from anywhere around his body.
Oh yeah, he makes some really good physical catches. He'll make some really good catches. Like he'll get big on you when you throw it deep.
Yeah.
The only thing is he has to show he's not only a deep threat.
Right. And I will say he weighed in at 218 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very similar size and weight to a guy that you and I love a lot, Julio Jones.
Yep. Yeah. And, I don't know if we could really call their games the same.
Right.
But Julio Jones is definitely faster.
Absolutely. Nobody's faster than Julio.
Nobody. Not really, but...
Okay. Maybe
for
John
the
Ross.
size. Yeah. But I'm liking Mike Williams a whole lot.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to be good. I wish he ran his 40. I think their pro day is in a week or two.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see him run it there, hopefully. Said he wasn't ready to run it, which was a little interesting, but we'll see. And another receiver, not really much to talk about, but Isaiah McKenzie, I thought he ran a solid time. I think he ran mid 4.4s, 4.42 or something. I thought that was very solid. I was not expecting that fast.
Unfortunately, he's just 5'6".
Yeah, he's going to be a returner. That's what he does. He's not going to be a receiver. He could maybe do something in an offense. Maybe.
He'd be very gadget orientated.
He's going to be a very good special teamer. I guarantee it. He can take the top off the return team. He can.
Right.
Yeah, Georgia, plenty of times. He reverses across the field. It's crazy. And the last receiver I had was
Corey Davis.
Corey Davis. Yep.
Another tall guy. He's a very. I'll let you talk about Corey Davis.
Yeah, Corey Davis does everything really well, and like I was saying, how Juju Smith does everything good. He does everything really good. Corey Davis does everything really, really good.
He does it better.
Yeah. maybe not the catching, but he runs really good routes for a good size. Great. The perfect receiver size almost. Great speed.
Fortunately, we didn't get to see that at the combine.
Yeah, we didn't get to see anything at the combine. It was a little. He had an illness, I think. But great. He's pretty good speed. He is definitely good enough speed. He's pretty fast. Great routes. His routes, you would not expect that from somebody like him. He runs very good routes. Little slants up the middle, anything. You got some 30 yards out. He does everything really well. He should be a very well-rounded receiver in this league. Really be able to play with the big corners we have.
Absolutely.
So I think this thing you like is talking about the quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks, my favorite guy in this draft class is Deshaun Watson from Clemson. We were just talking about Mike Williams. Um, Deshaun Watson, he's a guy that plays with more heart than I think any other quarterback. The guy I compare him most to right now would be Dak Prescott. I had Dak Prescott really highly rated last year, and you guys saw how he did. I think Deshaun Watson's probably the closest thing to a Dak Prescott I see.
Interesting.
He's a guy that won the national championship against Alabama, a team that was undefeated all season, a team that just blew people out.
Mm-hmm.
He was down early against Alabama, 14-0, without any kind of offense looking, and he brought this team back, and he won a national championship for it.
Interesting. Yeah. Who did you compare him to?
I compared him to Dak Prescott with the heart,
Interesting.
the playing
Interesting.
style.
Interesting. You know, yeah, I could see that. Russell Wilson kind of is one to me. He kind of reminds me of, just speaking of heart. I mean,
Right.
he has no more. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody more heart than Russell Wilson.
I gotta say, he's
But-
a little bit taller than Russell, though.
He's definitely a little bit taller. I mean, that's for sure. He's definitely a little bit taller, but they both definitely have some arm strength, and they aren't afraid. Like, you have a lot of quarterbacks that don't want to take chances, and Brock Osweiler is so bad that him not taking chances, he still messes that up. So, I mean, I like Deshaun Watson a whole lot, and he needs to get a little bit. He makes a lot of bad decisions. That's the problem.
Well, I actually looked it up. Deshaun Watson, in his 3 years, has thrown 32 interceptions to a total of 90 touchdowns.
Which,
His worst season was his junior season, where he threw 17.
Yeah.
You could say that the teams in the ACC were way better this last year,
yeah,
considering teams like Louisville and
Oh,
North
yeah.
Carolina all put up really well.
that was a good game. Louisville, Florida State.
The only
not
game they
Florida State,
lost was
Clemson.
against Pitt,
Mm-hmm.
which they just didn't look like the Clemson Tigers in
Yeah,
that
they
one.
didn't. They didn't. Pitt put up a really good fight.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I can see what you're saying. I mean, he's not the worst decision maker in the world. He makes a lot of good ones. It's about 4 times a game he just makes throws. They're just, what are you doing?
Right.
And a lot of them don't get picked off, but in the NFL they will.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely something you can fix for sure. There's no doubt about it. Guy I think is a lot of people have been talking about him, and I like him, is Mitch Trubisky.
Mitch Trubisky. I'm surprised at what he ran in the 40, to be honest.
Yeah, it's the same. Was it 0.01 slower than Watson, I think?
Something like that, yeah.
A very, very good 40 time. And he has all the skills you want, for sure. But it's not in the situation where, like, Christian Hackenberg has all the physical attributes you want. That's not the same thing. That guy, God. I don't even want to talk about that. But, he's a solid thrower. He's a good arm, for sure. He can move well. And he has good football IQ. It's just you got to question that 1 year. He's played 1 year in the NFL. I mean, and again, he had 1 year as a starter, right?
Yeah. At UNC and anywhere, to be honest. Obviously, he did very well at UNC
Mm-hmm.
in that 1 year. But
Yeah.
obviously, the fact that he's only played 1 year has got to be something. Especially when it's a 1 year in a shotgun spread type offense where he probably didn't learn as much as, even Deshaun Watson playing in a similar system over 3 years has picked up more lingo, more quarterback styles than Trubisky could have in 1 year.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Nothing against Trubisky or anything.
However,
That's
Trubisky is probably one of the most physically talented in this draft, and he's gonna be. He could probably be a great quarterback.
If it translates, if his skills translate well, he'll be well polished. That's for sure.
Right.
He'll be well polished.
Be a less turnover prone version of Blake Bortles, in my opinion.
Mm. Yeah.
So moving on, the next highest guy for most people would be DeShone Kizer.
Yeah. A lot of people I've talked to really like him, and I think he could be good. I'm not. He's my third quarterback right now. That's what it is. It's Trubisky, Watson, and then him, without a doubt. And not without a doubt of Watson and Trubisky. I think they're pretty close, but Kaiser's definitely behind them for me.
Mm-hmm.
He made good plays, that's for sure. He made good plays last year, and on a bad Notre Dame team.
Terrible.
He was a bright spot. It was horrible. They were horrible. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of people view him as the best guy. A lot of people do, and I'm just
from a
I'm
physical talent standpoint, possibly.
Yeah, I'm just not sold yet.
One thing I actually noticed about him, other than I feel like he's very interception prone, his throwing motion. He throws it very low off his shoulder. I mean, he's obviously a very tall guy at 6'4", but the way he throws it, it's so close to his shoulder. I feel like most defensive ends in the NFL could swat at it much easier than a guy who's 6'7", Brock Osweiler, who could throw a high ball. I know you obviously don't like Brock Osweiler. I'm just talking about the throwing motion. The way he throws it, it's very quick with these throws. It's so low coming off his arm.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I had to knock on him for.
Yeah. I agree with you completely.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really want to talk about him anymore. He's just. I want. I kind of want to see more from him. It's just. I don't know.
Yep, and.
He obviously has a passion for the game. It's.
Somebody's gonna be able to do something with him eventually.
For sure. I don't think Kizer is gonna be right year one.
Right. He's definitely gonna take time to develop.
Definitely. That's for sure.
Definitely way more time than Carson Wentz, who was supposed to develop, but obviously just played the whole year.
Yeah, and played at a high level.
Absolutely. Most of the year.
Not good receivers. Jordan Matthews is good, but. Alright, definitely. We gotta talk about Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. He's another quarterback who most people have as a first-round talent, it seems. Definitely late first round, possibly trading back up into the first, early second.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the arm talent that you want. He's played in a Texas kind of spread attack that doesn't transfer over greatly to the pros, as history has shown.
Texas Tech.
Sorry, yeah, Texas Tech, which is even more, the air raid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so obviously his dad was the former Major League pitcher. He's the Red Raiders. He puts up great stats. He's got I can't remember how many touchdowns. He puts up.
Oh, he had great stats.
Yeah.
He maybe has the best arm in the whole draft.
Absolutely.
He has a really strong arm.
The problem is just going to be
rifle it.
How well he can be coached.
Yeah.
A guy like Hugh Jackson,
he's
Bill
definitely
O'Brien,
raw.
Those kind of guys, the guys that are great quarterback coaches, and I got to throw them in, the Patriots. Those are the kind of guys that would get the most out of Patrick Mahomes. Guys that are just known for being quarterback coaches.
I'd say him and Brad Kaya are the two most raw quarterbacks in the draft.
Right.
But I'm really excited to see Patrick Mahomes because he put on a show at the Combine. He made some really good throws, and he was really good in college. His college career. So
he actually beat out wasn't it? He beat out Baker Mayfield, or was that someone else?
It was something like that. I don't remember if that was him.
It might have been someone else.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. What other quarterbacks are there?
Well, most people don't realize this. I didn't realize this till recently. Greg Ward Jr. from Houston actually is projected as a wide receiver
Hmm.
going into the NFL, which is a lot
He-
like how Trevon Boykin was, but Trevon Boykin decided he wanted to be a quarterback,
And he's on a roster,
and
so
he's
he
on
can't.
a roster up in Seattle.
I like Greg Ward a whole lot. He wouldn't be a quarterback in the NFL, that's for sure. But it's a good Colgate quarterback. He had a few mistakes for sure this season, but remember that one game start the season against Oklahoma. He made a few mistakes, but him playing that chemistry you could just see, it's really good. So we got to see how he does. I don't really know how good he translate to receiver like some
Yeah.
players.
He's obviously fast.
Translate like Terrell Pryor did this season.
That is rare.
That's unbelievable. You will never get that usually.
That guy is just a physical monster. Terrell Pryor.
Oh yeah, I knew he was physically gifted, but I did not think he'd do that.
Absolutely. Is there any
Oh.
other quarterbacks you think? might
Yeah,
be
Trevor Knight. I don't think anything of him. I just thought I might as well mention him. I'm not really a NFL Trevor Knight fan. Don't think he'll be a good NFL quarterback.
I think he's gonna be similar to. He's similar in size and frame to Johnny Manziel.
Mm.
Johnny Manziel was just a better football player.
Yeah, and Johnny Manziel hopefully does something because I would like to see him play football again
If he could get his life straight.
if he could. But that's right.
That's an if. Is there anyone else, or do you want to move on?
I mean, you want to say anything about Davis Webb? I don't really have anything to say.
I don't really have much to say about Davis Webb. The guy who
What?
acclaimed himself as the best actual passer in the draft. He didn't put on a great combine. He missed a few passes that he's probably other quarterbacks did make. Yeah.
Yeah, but last guy I'll talk about is C.J. Beathard. I think that's how you pronounce his name, right? From Iowa. Beathard?
Maybe, I don't know.
That's what
I don't want to
You don't
butcher
really-
it
you
like
didn't-
you did.
yeah, you don't really hear about him a whole lot. You didn't hear about him a whole lot in college because he didn't have to pass it all the time. He barely passed it, but I thought he was very solid at the combine. He
Yeah.
looked really good. You had some quarterbacks that just never made a good throw. It seemed like he almost always made a good throw.
I agree.
He could maybe carve out a backup role in this league.
He
Landry
could.
Jones.
I think, yeah, I think he could.
Let's
as
move
well.
on. Let's move on to day 3.
Actually, I just wanted to say something else about day 2 real quick. And this being the best tight end class
Oh, yeah, you're
draft-wise
right.
I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, my fault.
O.J. Howard, obviously, from Alabama, is probably the top of the draft right now.
This is the best draft. I have to agree. Best tight end class I've probably ever seen.
He's a lot like Martellus Bennett, who just played on the Patriots.
But boy, he can move.
The guy can run fast, the guy can catch great, and
Block.
the guy can block better than any tight end in college football.
Yeah.
Next guy I wanted to say was Evan Ingram from, I believe
Mhm.
he is from Ole Miss.
Yep.
He's very similar in how he plays to Jordan Reed, who
He had a very good combine.
very great combine. He ran a 4.42, which is better than most of the, well, probably most of the receivers.
Wait, it wasn't a 4.42,
It
was
was a
it?
4.42.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I Googled it.
I don't remember that. Wow. You know, maybe I do. He was good. He won't translate to an inline tight end immediately. You'll have to work on him blocking if you even want him to do that. He'll be off the line like he was in college. He was never on the line in college. He'll be off the
Similar
line
to
in
Jordan
college.
Reed.
Yeah. Jordan Reed can block when you need him to, though. So if he can block, Evan Ingram will be very, very useful. He'll be a very potent threat in the NFL.
Absolutely.
What do you think of David Njoku?
David Njoku? Yeah, obviously he's one of the top 3 guys, I would say, in this class.
Yeah.
For tight end wise, of course.
He's good.
From Miami.
He's good. He's a good speed.
He's very good speed. Not as good as Evan Ingram, obviously. But
yeah.
He's a very good receiver. He can block fairly well. He's very balanced in what he can do.
He does everything very solid.
He does everything solid. He does
well-rounded.
He just won't be the most spectacular guy. But
well, in the NFL, I mean, somebody who I think of who's not the most spectacular guy, not saying he is him by any means, but Greg Olsen is definitely not the most spectacular guy in the league. But he is a consistent force in what he does. So, if you do anything like him, that's a solid career.
Yeah, I got another one, Jake Butt from Michigan.
Jake
Butt's fallen off a lot.
Boy, his stock has dropped.
He was very injury-riddled the last few weeks of the college football season.
Yeah.
He played with a backup quarterback from Michigan after...
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember his name. Their Michigan starting quarterback went down. But he's still a very good receiving tight end. He's a lot younger version of Gary Barnidge, in my opinion. He's not the greatest blocker, but he can catch.
Yep.
And he's similar in size.
Yeah.
The last guy I wanted to talk about, a guy who's not getting much attention, but actually did very well combine-wise, and actually did very well in the season. It was George Kittle from Iowa. Another, Iowa's had a very... they didn't throw it very much, so George Kittle didn't get much of his...
I think he's actually the best blocker in the draft.
He probably is. He's probably the best blocker. He's a lot like O.J. Howard. He's just a great blocker, a great receiver.
Obviously, he's not. He can't run as well.
Well, actually, you say that. He ran a 4.52 at the combine.
I'm talking about game speed, though. O.J. Howard, you watch him run around.
That is true.
And I mean moving around. Like, I remember there was this tight end screen he did where he ran to the sideline and just cut around the edge and just went straight for the end zone. Nobody touched him.
That's true.
I'm not saying he's slow. It's just game speed. This guy, if you want him to move around and go different directions, he won't be as able to move like O.J. Howard.
That is true.
But he's a good pro. I like him. Not getting enough credit.
Absolutely.
That's for sure.
So moving on to day 3.
Yep.
The defensive end, the linebackers. Obviously, you and I were very impressed by most of these people in this class.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Is there any defensive ends you wanted to spotlight real quick?
Wanted to spotlight? These defensive ends are amazing. I mean, there's so much first-round talent in these defensive end and linebackers. It's ridiculous. Myles Garrett, I mean, he's got to be the number 1 prospect on my board.
Myles Garrett, absolutely. And I believe he is probably the number 1 prospect on everybody's board at this point.
Yeah, I mean...
Blew up the combine.
Oh my gosh, dude. It's an unbelievable combine. Unbelievable. His vertical jump is higher than Odell Beckham's. I mean, we know Odell Beckham can jump, but he's huge, strong, big, fast. I mean, and it's not just physical. He is a physical specimen, but that's not all he is. He can play.
He's got the technique. He's got everything you want from a defensive end.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
Most people have actually compared him to, was it Julius Peppers? Coming out of college, a guy who could just do everything really well. And obviously Julius Peppers has had a great career, so if Myles Garrett can do anything like that, good on him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And most people have him as the number 2 defensive end in this class. It might not be what you believe. He's more of a 3-4 defensive end. I got Jonathan Allen.
God, I don't know. Jonathan Allen is so good. It's so hard, because almost any other year, in my opinion, he'd be number 1. In my years of watching college football, I've never seen an interior defensive lineman quicker than Jonathan Allen. As long as I've watched college football,
Right.
never seen one quicker. He's a big reason for that defense is obviously so good, but he's a big reason for their success. He was so dominant. He's a good run stopper, good at getting after the quarterback. He can move. He can really move, and I really like him.
I see him as a 3-4 defensive end. A lot of people could see him as a defensive tackle. Either way, he's a big man, and he can do some bad things.
Either way, he'll definitely be on the field a lot.
And just to continue this trend, we've got another SEC defensive end, Derek Barnett from Tennessee. Obviously,
I mean, that's not all. There's 3 more.
Yeah, that's true.
This is an SEC first-round defensive end class. That's what this is.
My top 5 guys for defensive ends are all SEC guys.
Oh, yeah.
Derek Barnett, Tennessee. Obviously not the fastest guy, but he's been on par with Myles Garrett in the sacks record since he's been at Tennessee. He's not very fast. He isn't the strongest guy, but he plays with probably the best technique.
Good word. Yeah.
I love to watch him.
Yeah, I know you're a big Derek Barnett fan.
Yeah.
He's a good ball player. He'll definitely have a big role in this league. He won't put up 20 sack seasons for you. You won't do that. Probably won't even do more than 16.
No.
But he can probably put up multiple double-digit sack seasons.
Yeah, and you can constantly count on him pressuring the quarterback, even if he doesn't get home every time.
For sure. Another guy I like is well, I mean, I like him, but I know you like him a lot, is Charles Harris.
Charles Harris impressed me so much at the Combine.
He had a good Combine.
Not only did he play defensive end very well, he played linebacker and did some linebacker drills in which he did excellent in. He's got probably the sickest spin move in this defensive end class. He plays with great technique, and he was faster in the Combine than I thought he would be.
Yeah. Impressed me in the Combine.
Those Missouri defensive ends the last few years have all been fairly impressive, but I think Charles Harris might actually be one of the best.
Yeah. So one last SEC player I want to talk about is Tim Williams. You know, I like Tim Williams. I think he's going to be a pretty good NFL player. I expected more out of him, for sure. 2 years ago, I remember he had the sickest season because, not stat-wise, he played so much less than everybody else. I don't remember what it was, but it was like every 10 plays he was out there, he got a sack.
And
that's unbelievable.
Impressive.
It may have not been that high, but it was something like that. It was ridiculous. And I didn't see consistent force from him this season.
Right.
His drive wasn't always there. Yeah, his drive wasn't always there, and he just... I really expect more out of him, but he'll probably go day one.
He's a very good pass rusher. He isn't the best run defender.
No.
He's probably... I see him more as a 3-4 linebacker coming off the edge than...
Situational guy, or do you see him out there 3 downs?
I see him situational guy for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely
At least the beginning of his career.
Absolutely.
We could see maybe if he could do something like Leonard Floyd did.
Yep.
Or Leonard Floyd, I thought had to be a situational guy because he could get the quarterback in Georgia, but he only could stop the run as as an inside linebacker. But when he was on the outside, it was bad. But he really impressed me this season. So maybe Tim Williams can do that.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Out soon enough.
That's for sure. 2 guys who ran really fast: Hassan Reddick and Takaris McKinley.
Yeah, obviously those are 2 more guys that, well, at least McKinley for sure I see as a 3-4 defensive end linebacker situational pass rush guy.
Yeah.
He's very fast, which, will translate to the NFL. It's just he's going to take more time to develop. He's a lot like Vic Beasley in that sense. Vic Beasley had great speed, but took a while to progress.
Mhm.
He took one season to progress into a defensive end that, most people would want on their team. Everyone played
Oh, yeah.
him as a bust his first season.
Oh yeah.
Obviously came on in his second season. I think he's going to be very similar to that.
Mhm. Yeah. Agreeable. And Hassan Reddick?
Hassan Reddick, I think he's going to be a very good linebacker in the
Yeah.
NFL.
He put up a show at the combine. He did very well. I've seen first round discussion on him.
Yeah. I think late first round, maybe Patriots take a chance
Seen
without
seen
Tony
Card-
Hightower.
I've seen Cardinals too.
Cardinals,
Mhm.
definitely both in play.
Yeah.
Speaking about guys that impressed you at the combine, how about somebody who did the opposite in Reuben Foster, who
Yep.
didn't actually even participate in the combine?
Yeah,
Obviously,
very
another great
disappointed.
Alabama player.
I was very disappointed.
Got sent home on his first day for arguing with the doctors, I believe.
Yeah, it was like a medical staff, and he was a big confrontation, and yeah, he got sent home. I really wanted to see him too, because I think he's one of the more complete players in the draft.
Absolutely. He's going to be a great linebacker.
Going to be a great linebacker, and he really, in my opinion, was the highlight of the inside linebackers. Other guys are good. He's definitely the highlight. Raekwon McMillan, good player.
Good player.
I mean,
He's,
seems like an Ohio State linebacker to me. That's what he is.
yes. I see what you mean with that.
I mean, that's what he is.
I think
Zach
the-
Cunningham really improved, really impressed me at the combine, though.
Yeah, Zach
He look-
Cunningham actually impressed me all season in his gameplay.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's not the best coverage kind of guy, but he is a great run stopper.
Oh yeah.
Linebacker position. Another guy who I could see being a late first round, early second round kind of guy.
Mhm.
He blows people up. It's amazing.
Oh yeah. That's for sure. And one last linebacker, Ben Boulware. Yeah. He's a player. He's a leader. I mean, that's what he is. He makes plays. And yeah, you don't know how consistent of a force he'll be in the NFL. I don't think he's going to be very consistent of a force. And he didn't really show me a whole lot at the combine. So, inside linebackers, it was mainly, day 3 was mainly defensive end pass rushers. That's what it was. And boy, they were good. Day 4 was my favorite. I mean, oh man. Yeah, Jamal Adams, good player. Very, very good player. He ran well, ran pretty well. A lot of people were very happy with his time. I was hoping he ran a little faster. Hoping he ran just a little faster, but that's fine. He's a good player. Yeah, great leader. He can move very well in the in the backfield, very well. Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, glad you brought up Darian Conley. I was about to die over here. You said your favorite player was a guy by the name of Deshaun Watson. This player right here, Darian Conley, is definitely my favorite player in the draft. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I think he's one of the best. He's my favorite. He's really, really good. He's not getting near the credit he deserves. And I've seen second round pick. He had a solid combine, so I've seen a lot of first round picks now. But before it was second round, late second, mid second. I just did not. He's really good. He does everything. Not everything. I can't say that. He has good size, obviously good speed from a 40 time, and that's not just, he has good game speed. Because the most impressive thing about him to me is when it happened when players got around him and he was back by a second, and he was behind them, and the ball wasn't thrown to him yet, but they had a beat on him, and then the quarterback threw it. He had I have not seen a player with that much catch-up speed to get back to that receiver and make the play to break up the ball. I haven't seen a player do that like the way he does it in years. I mean, he's so impressive the way he does that. He's a physical corner. He can press. You can play off. He can play inside, play out. Yeah, he can match up with most receivers. Two things he does is obviously the run stopping. He will not tackle to save his life. It's awful. The worst probably out of all the corners in the draft at tackling. He doesn't take good angles. But you can work on that. Other thing he does is when he plays inside and he plays receivers inside, he plays a nickel and he has players that are cutting inside, he doesn't play him too well a lot. Sometimes they get a step on him. But if you're going deep, if you're going outside, you're going deep and then cutting in or outside, he'll lock you down. He had a ridiculous passer rating against him this season, and when the ball is in the air, he is one of the best ball hawks in the whole league. The whole draft, that's for sure. I really like him. Oh yeah. Malik Hooker is a good safety. I yeah, I personally I have him a little higher. I have him one. Well, now I have him one spot higher on my board than Jamal Adams. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll play free safety. That's for sure. Yeah, yeah, but strong. You got to be a strong safety. So yeah, that's so. Hmm. Good player. Yeah, a lot of people. Uh, yeah, a lot of people view him higher. I've seen maybe two people have like Gary Conley more. Most everybody likes Lattimore more, and Lattimore is really good. I just like Conley more. But Lattimore ran such a solid 40 time. He ran like a 3.44. I mean, no, a 4.34 or something like that. He's really good. He can cover really well. I don't know how is him playing the ball. I don't know how well he's gonna do that in the NFL, but he's really good coverage and barely ever gets beat. Yeah, yeah, I don't really have much to say about him to be honest. He's a good corner. Yeah. Uh, Maurice Alexander. Yeah. I was gonna say he reminds me of Xavier Rhodes. He should be pretty good. I think he'll be a steal. Mm. He's a really good corner. Uh, it's funny because actually their other corner, Minka Fitzpatrick, who's not eligible till next year, I think is a better corner. Like, he's going to be good, but I'm not. No, this isn't about him. It's about Humphrey. Humphrey's a good corner, a really good corner, and should be a pretty solid player. This is a really good defensive back class. Really good defensive back class. A lot of good corners, a lot of good safeties. So, I mean, we'll see, but Humphrey's really good. And, I mean, who else is there? Desmond King. Desmond King, don't know what he's going to do in the NFL. I really like him, though. Really like him. He's not quite as fast as I want him. As you want him to be, but I really do like him. Yeah.